This month of the How's All That Workin' For You podcast is sponsored by J. Brooks Coffee Roasters in Memphis, Tennessee. Urban Joe is the house favorite at J. Brooks for cold brew coffee. The legendary flavor of Urban Joe will ignite your taste buds with captivating shades of cocoa and cream. With a pleasantly balanced, bold body, the dark roast lover will fall head over heels for this roast. Cold brew is very quick and simple to make. It contains 2/3 less acids than hot brew coffee, so it's a perfect choice for anyone who has reflux or needs a stomach-friendly option for coffee. And if you make cold brew at home, you can make both cold and hot coffee with your solution. Everyone loves an adventure story. Make your day an epic adventure with a steaming cup or cold brew of Urban Joe. To order this signature blend for yourself and learn more about J. Brooks Coffee, click the link in the show notes or visit jbrookscoffeeroasters.com. That's the letter J, brookscoffeeroasters.com. You are officially invited to create some breathing room. This is the absolute best podcast to find the strategies, resources, and motivation you need to stop drowning in overwhelm, break free from hustle culture, and live out your God-given purpose. I'm your host, Rachel Baker, and girl, I've been there, done that. It is my God-given purpose to help you find space for an intentional life so you can confidently live in those strengths, skills, and passions that light you up and serve others. I know you are ready to create some breathing room, so let's do it together. Hey, welcome to episode 1 of Create Some Breathing Room. As we get into this episode, I want you to know I am dedicated to making this podcast a place of honesty and vulnerability. I'm not going to ask you to try anything I haven't already tried or experienced personally. And hopefully today's episode is a prime example of that. Since serving and empowering women who are overwhelmed by all the things is literally my job, I'm often asked how I manage to get all the things done with all of the hats that I wear. I hope you enjoy and possibly laugh a little bit at this honest summary of a week in my life as I'm juggling the hats that I wear as a wife, mom, friend, daughter, sister, business owner, women's ministry leader, colleague, writer, speaker, coach, and a chronic pain warrior. I know I'm not the only one wearing all of these hats, so I know you are listening and you get it. So I managed to capture the week of Labor Day in September of 2022 in my journal, and it is the perfect snapshot of what we are talking about today. Okay, so since Monday of that week was Labor Day, nobody in our family had to go to work or school, so we intentionally planned some family time with a trip to the Memphis Zoo in Memphis, Tennessee. It was a 2-hour drive there. We took our time. We enjoyed the animals, a splash pad. We even got to have ice cream with my mom before driving the 2 hours back home. So it was a beautiful day with family. Obviously, no work was accomplished, but that was planned, right? So Tuesday, business as usual with everybody trying to catch up on all the things after an extended weekend. For extra excitement, there was also school picture day, an after-school play rehearsal, several back-to-back meetings for me. Typical day. Wednesday. Wednesday was physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausting because I had medical appointments in the big city, which for us is Little Rock, Arkansas. So if you or someone that you are close with deals with chronic health issues, you know the level of exhaustion I'm talking about. Little Rock is about an hour drive each way for us, and my husband and I both missed another full day of work to go to these appointments. So at this point, we're at the end of Wednesday. The to-do lists are really starting to pile up. Thursday involved me driving myself back to Little Rock for more medical tests and results because at least one of us needed to work this week. The miserable tests and uncertain results left me in all of my emotions at the end of another long day. Do you feel the exhaustion levels growing? Because now it's Friday. And Friday started bright and early for me. I cranked out as many things on my to-do list as possible between all the other morning meetings that I had. Before you know it, I'm doing school pickup for both kids. There's a trip to Walmart, dinner, our first high school football game, and we're finishing off the day. So it's around 9 p.m. on Friday night when I realized just how much client work was still waiting for me. Looking through that eternal list, it was just overwhelming how much needed to be accomplished before the next Monday rolled around. Weekends have plans of their own, right? There are birthday parties, sports events, maybe teaching a Bible class, worship time with church family, there's committee meetings, all the things. And when was the last time anyone cleaned a bathroom in this house? Is that just me? Does anybody else have this issue? So there's still this game of when will it all get done? Okay, this is where the self-pep talk comes in, right? Because listen, I am a productivity specialist and a certified life coach. This is literally the thing that I do. I empower other people to make sure they're living within their capacity and not running themselves into the ground. I have created a digital course that successfully teaches people how to overcome the overwhelm in their lives. I can handle this. It's just a matter of looking at all the things, prioritizing them, and putting them in slots of time where they can get done. I can do this. So Saturday morning rolls around, and what did I do? Well, I stayed in bed a little longer because it's a weekend and I'm freaking tired. I took a long shower. I took my meds, made coffee, sat on the couch because at that point, I only had about 30 minutes before I needed to take my youngest child to a birthday party. And then I started thinking of the long list waiting for me when I returned. I realized the car still needed gas. And I started spiraling before I even had my third sip of coffee for the morning. Hey, it's Rachel, your go-to encourager and coach. I know you love our podcast talks, but imagine taking that connection to the next level in person. I'm more than a clarity coach. I'm someone who's been in the trenches, juggling all the things. I get it. I've danced with chaos, overloaded schedules, and the struggle to prioritize self-care. But I found the rhythm. And I've got the strategies to help your ladies create some breathing room. So if you're organizing an event, whether it's a conference, church gathering, or retreat, and you want a speaker who brings humor, real talk, and a dose of inspiration, I'm your girl. Let's chat about making your event a memorable one. Visit racheldbaker.com/speaking. That's racheldbaker.com/speaking. I can't wait to connect. When the level of anxiety starts creeping up before you have even opened the laptop or looked over your to-do list, that's your red flag. It's time for a different approach. I could have gone to the closest gas station after dropping my kid off at the birthday party and just headed straight home. Super efficient. Move to the next thing on the list. That is how we get things done. But y'all, I just couldn't do it. Everything in my mind, heart, gut, whatever you want to call it, was telling me I needed a few minutes for me that would fill my cup. So I took the longer way to a gas station on the edge of our small town. I turned on a podcast. It was Allie Fallon interviewing Mary Morantz, both ladies whom I love, and they're talking about writing. I love it so much. So I just soaked up their gentle, encouraging words as I took the long way around town to get home. There's no traffic, lots of green hills and trees, blue skies, the white, fluffy clouds. Fill me up, Lord. This is what I needed. And actually, my husband called to see if I had gotten lost. I informed him I had stopped for gas. I'd be home soon. Here's the thing. We talk a lot about systems and strategies and resources, all these things that'll help us be more productive. But do you know what else increases your level of productivity? Intentionally slowing down. When I got home that day, the dread I had been feeling wasn't as intense. My focus wasn't stretched quite as thin, and I was ready to do a few more things for other people who were counting on me. So here's the bottom line. Productivity and hustle are not the same thing. I'm going to say that one more time, just in case you need it. Productivity and hustle are not the same thing. I started this episode by emphasizing the honesty that you're going to get here. So let's do a quick reality check. I did not go from dragging the bottom of the barrel to functioning at 100% after listening to one podcast episode on an extended drive through the country. But I am always more equipped to focus on the needs of others and the tasks on my list when I take the time to create some breathing room for myself. That is what we are looking to do here. If nothing else, I hope listening to this podcast will remind you that you have permission to take a hot second and decide what breathing room looks like for you. If you are constantly pouring into others, where is the designated time and space where you can fill your own cup back up? It doesn't magically appear on its own, so we've got to be intentional about creating it. So, back to our original question, how do I get all the things done all the time? Honestly, sometimes I don't. But if I want to come even a little bit close to being really productive, I know I've got to make sure I'm allowing that time to slow down and refill my cup, to create that breathing room. So at the end of every episode, I want to make sure you walk away with something tangible, something that can lead to your next best steps forward. So as we wrap up, let's recap the important points from today. Number 1, sometimes being productive means you have to slow down a bit. Number 2, sometimes getting things done well means you take the long way around. And number 3, sometimes giving your best work to others looks like spending some time to fill your own cup first. You are more equipped to focus on the needs of others, to do all the things, when you take the time to create some breathing room. If this content was helpful for you, there are 2 things you can do that will really support this podcast. First of all, hit that follow or subscribe button. And second, screenshot this episode and share it to your Instagram story so other people know you enjoyed it. And make sure you tag me at rachel.d.baker so then I can connect with you over there. Thanks so much for listening today. Be sure to check the show notes to get links for all the resources mentioned in this episode. As always, your reviews make such a difference, so thank you for taking the time to leave those for us. Your ratings and thoughts mean so much. I love reading each and every one. As we wrap up today, please remember, life can feel crazy and overwhelming sometimes, but you will never regret taking the time to create some breathing room.